Hey guys, and welcome to the sound of Nitro Kid. I'm Julian, one of the producers of the soundtrack for the upcoming game Nitro Kid by Wild Boy Studios. Let's explain the main concepts behind the soundtrack. The game always had a unique vision and style that influenced the soundtrack. The tracks I composed were my interpretation of the world of Nitro Kid, imagining different scenes and characters. My idea was to capture the spirit of 80s synthwave while having a futuristic and modern sound, by merging the synthwave style with modern electronic music. This creates a hybrid style that makes the songs unique and pushes the envelope of what would be considered traditional synthwave. I've always had an affinity for music that does not conform to a specific genre. My music usually turns out high energy and very melodic. This shows in the soundtrack too. So the soundtrack integrates the style of different music artists and is influenced by different electronic music genres like synthwave, outrun, dark synth and cybersynth, while also having elements of house and trance. This gives it the needed variety while forming a cohesive picture. You can hear the variety also in the different moods of the tracks. Some are playful, some are serious, some are dreamy, and some are really intense. I made the decision to be bold and experimental while composing. My goal wasn't another run-of-the-mill soundtrack that loops endlessly in the background, but catchy, distinct and recognizable tracks players would like to listen to in their free time. So every track became a full-length song. This gives the gameplay a feel of ebb and flow, and some tracks only play on special occasions, like the boss fights, which gives them their own sound. The soundtrack has a few distinct themes. Imagine the scene of driving at high speeds in 80s supercars into the sunset of a futuristic neon-colored Miami, in an age where the 80s never ended. This theme of retrofuturism is present in many synthwave tracks, and I tried to capture it in the soundtrack, while giving it my own spin. The track you can hear now expresses it quite well. Other tracks that play mainly in the mech floor are inspired by science fiction and cyberpunk. Machines have overtaken the world and humans have merged with machines to become more powerful. Cyborgs are marching through the streets of futuristic cities. The setting is inspired by 80s movies like The Terminator and Blade Runner. Gritty basses are at the forefront of the tracks, and the whole track sounds mechanical and robot-like. Let's take a listen. Cyberpunk sound gives the soundtrack variety and fits the mech floor well, as the opponents there are obviously robots, cyborgs and machines. These tracks have less melody and are more focused on the sound design aspect. Another theme is that of hope. The hero must overcome the odds stacked against him in a futuristic dystopian environment to save the mutant kids. They face many scary opponents, greater in number and in size, but still they must overcome all of them by steadily upgrading their skills and never giving up, even if the situation seems hopeless. The track now playing has a nice drive to it that symbolizes that the hero must push forward no matter what. It is high energy and has an element of danger to it. It tells the story of the hero facing the time police and their cyborg soldiers. There's no hiding from them. Because Infinity has more power than the government, even the police is under its wing. Of course, the hero is outnumbered, but they must have hope and faith in their abilities to overcome even the direst of situations. The song implements an 80s guitar and then transitions to a trance lead. Let's listen. Man, I love those trance saws. The lead comes from the Access Virus TI hardware synthesizer that I use throughout the soundtrack. Its sound gives the synthwave tracks a modern touch. The next song I want to show you is called Infinity and plays on the mutant floor. It captures the evil and supremacy of the mega corporation quite well. Infinity rules over Neo Miami, guarded by their mercenaries and cyborgs. The hero must break into their headquarters, where they see firsthand that Infinity conducts experiments on humans that turns them into mutants. The eerie atmosphere and mysterious leads merge with industrial percussion and the driving bass line. As you may have noticed, these stories inspired me to create the music around them. Having distinct atmospheres for different parts of the story and the world of Nitro Kid was important for me. Thus, the final soundtrack contains songs with different flavors and moods. I also tried to match the music to the gameplay, so some tracks are more energetic while others are more laid back. Variety was one of the key factors in creating the soundtrack, as it can get stale otherwise. The other artists that contributed to it did a phenomenal job and added to the variety. I'm very happy with the result. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and my musical interpretation of the world of Nitro Kid. Making the soundtrack was a welcome challenge for me, as I come from a background in EDM, and by creating synthwave for the game I gave my own unique twist to it. I made over 20 original tracks for this soundtrack, and you can hear some of them in the demo. And stay tuned for the reveal of the other artists that contributed to the soundtrack. The full game will come out later this year on PC, but the demo is out now, and if you liked what you heard so far, I highly encourage you to play it. Alright, thanks for watching guys and cheers!